Hello, welcome to SquishiVision. Disney drops a lot of content on Friday. I'm here to pick it up. Jesus, I'm really feeling the effects of 8 back-to-back live streams. I didn't think it was this exhausting. My computer has kind of recovered. It had a bit of a meltdown during Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it seems to have come back on now, so we can get right back into it. So, the last, penultimate video content we're looking at now is the second trailer from WandaVision. So all the other stuff we've seen so far have all been first looks. It's been the first kind of extended looks we've seen at a lot of the stuff that we've seen, or the first teasers to some of the stuff we haven't seen at all. WandaVision, however, actually had a trailer previously, which we looked into, and I've done my own kind of review of and first watch of that a while back. So this is actually the second look, so we're actually going to see more than what we've seen before. I think the intention was for WandaVision to actually broadcast sometime around now, but it's been pushed back. It's the next one that's going to come up. It's actually going to be due in a month's time tomorrow. So it's the next thing. I think everything we've looked at today that's actually upcoming, it's the next thing. So I think that's why we've actually got a trailer too. So obviously I talked a lot about kind of the series in my previous ones. We're able to retrack old ground about what's in it and what's the crack with it. So let's go straight into watching the trailer.
So what's a single gal like you doing rattling around this big house?
Well, I assure you, I'm married to a man, a human one.
Wanda.
What's its ring? And I ran. While you sleep, I'll go.
We are an unusual couple.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
We just don't know what to expect.
Howdy, neighbors.
Hey, bud.
Wanda, what's up?
Who are you?
I don't know.
I think something's wrong here.
Wanda, can you read me? Who's doing this to you?
Are you here to help us? This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Well, I think we handled that well.
Oh, it just keeps getting weirder, doesn't it? Yeah, so this is the first trailer. This is really, really weird. And I think everyone's expecting what it is, but I think I was expecting anybody was expecting what we got. But when it came out, it made so much sense of what we were going for, and you could click all the things together. But I still think that when we end up actually seeing it, it's still, I still think we're still going to be surprised. So much like before, we get the whole kind of medium blend kind of effect here, where first of all it looks like we're actually looking at kind of a screen, and then it kind of looks like we're looking at the original kind of. So we get rid of the scan lines and the vignette, and we get this kind of 4:3 aspect ratio look. I mean, apart from how clean and high definition it is, this could literally be a shot from 60s, 70s era sitcom, and like a lot of dialogue, or the laughter track, everything I mentioned before. And this is what I really love, because I'm obviously I'm a big fan of looking at thinking about screen aesthetics, and for me this is kind of a love letter to the screen aesthetics of TV across the years as we kind of jump between different things. So I mean, I gushed about this loads last time, and I realised how exhausted I'm getting now, so I'm not going to gush too much about it at the moment. Watch my last trailer reaction to see me gush a lot about that. But we're getting more of that. We're getting more of the kind of whole dialogue and delivery, which seems like it was made back in the day rather than modern era. So
Rattling around this big house.
Well,
and here we see like kind of Wanda changing parts of her reality to fit the life she's now living. So obviously she's justifying the fact that she's living with Vision by saying they're married, and she changes reality to say that they are married, which kind of fits into Wanda's whole entire thing.
I assure you, I'm married to a man, a human one.
And then we get this whole kind of, you know, laugh track, comedic, very obvious things.
Wanda.
What's it been? And I ran. Wipe the sleep out of my
We are an unusual couple.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
And then we get kind of this, obviously, this weird, I think this is kind of from the poster, and this is kind of them chinning. I think actually this is a lot about them chinning era. So we're going from like the black and white era to the more coloured sitcom era. All the colours are kind of vibrant and orange, and
We just don't know what to expect.
like even this looks very much in line with kind of. I did the research last time and I made notes of the dates, and I've not got them in my hands and I can't remember. This is more in line with kind of TV at certain era as well, and even the way she delivers lines, so you can see that like a more kind of her American accent has changed to reflect the era of television, whilst before it was you know, it was more an upper class American accent, and now it's more of a kind of normal American accent. And then she's pregnant, which is obviously the thing we saw in the previous trailer of them pulling twins, which obviously plays into the whole part of that plot as well.
Howdy, neighbors.
And I think that's Catherine Hahn, who plays Agnes, who again, it's not immediately clear who she is. I mean, the wide theory is that Agnes is actually Agatha or something, which is a character in this comics. But whether she plays I mean, she seems to be antagonistic in how we've seen her portrayed so far. Like, she knows more about what's going on than anyone else, and she seems to be working in the behinds mechanics. But I should establish it. She could be an ally for all we know. But she seems like someone who knows what's going on. We get like, you know, obviously these weird kind of, you know, moments where she kind of almost winks, not to the camera, but in a sense it is also to the audience here. And then this, I'm pretty sure, is Tiona Paris playing Monica Rambio. So obviously this is the daughter of the character who we saw is the small girl who we saw in Captain Marvel, and she's playing here, but she's playing here as an adult. And we get a bit more kind of what's possibly happened here. So she appears and she says, you know, Wanda's like, who are you? And she's like, I don't know. And so it appears she's been drawn into Wanda's world and has kind of lost the memory of kind of what's happening. So I think that's an interesting kind of thing we've managed to discern from this trailer, is how Monica kind of plays a role in all this.
What's up? Who are you?
I don't know.
And then we see kind of the world glitching and then reality forcing them to kind of act in the kind of narrative that they're currently living in.
I think something's wrong here.
And then these shots are more kind of typical Marvel style, cinematic MCU style. And then here, I think this is Catherine Hahn again, unless I'm confusing my white women up again. And if we're glitching, someone's trying to contact Wanda from the outside world, and it's coming through on the radio. There's lots of blurring between styles. And then here again we see Catherine kind of Hahn playing Agnes, jumping between different eras, trying to demand, you know, begging for help, it seems. So maybe he's kind of contravenes the whole antagonistic aspect we've seen of her so far, and she's more kind of another victim of this whole system, and she just wants to ask for help. But then the whole laugh seems very evil, so, you know, who knows? And here we see kind of more modern stuff.
Let's fight for it.
And that's also so this seems to be after they've kind of realised what's going on, but there's someone to defend whatever it is that's kind of causing issues. Oops.
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
So that's Randall Park reprising his role as Jimmy Woo, who in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So we see him here again as an FBI agent. This is probably like in the real world. So this is probably like real world things outside of the reality that Wanda and Vision are trapped in, and we've got a bunch of kind of soldiers around them as well. And then this is
Then let's fight for it.
so there we have Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis, who we haven't seen since For the Dark World, which would have been in 2013. So this is her first appearance in the MCU in 7 years. I don't know why I was emphasizing that so much. But yeah, Kat Dennings returns to the MCU. This again, probably I imagine is like in the real world, and she's kind of liaising with Jimmy Woo to work out kind of, presumably there's some like reverse effects of whatever Wanda's doing in her reality, it's affecting the real world as well, and I reckon she's probably, and then that's obviously the Mind Stone, which actually, yeah, he has in his head, even though obviously the dead one didn't have it. And it's interesting because obviously the Mind Stone, as far as we are aware, was returned to where it was stolen from, and then destroyed. So that's interesting because it seems like she's kind of observing the stone. Maybe this is what it's called. Maybe this is what happens right at the beginning. She somehow recreates the Mind Stone of her own energy and uses it to form this whole reality, which we're now seeing. And then we end on this kind of weird, distorted scene.
Well, I think we handled that well.
And then a whole kind of comedic thing, which you know is reminiscent of a sitcom. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna spend too much on this because I've already talked a lot about my theories about the show in my last trailer, and I'm tired. But we do see a couple of new interesting things here. We see kind of new aspects of Kat. I think the main things are, apart from obviously seeing Darcy Lewis on screen, we get more of an idea of what happens later on in the series and what the kind of premise, how it kind of rolls, the kind of narrative kind of thread. We get a bigger sense of she creates this world, it causes problems for inside and outside, and then they try to fix the inside problems, and we have Jimmy Woo and Darcy Lewis trying to fix outside problems. And then we also have kind of a more idea of where Monica Rambeau, like it doesn't seem like she was drawn into this of her own free will. It seems like she was drawn into this and is trying to now adapt a way out. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I'm going to wrap up nice and sweetly about 13 minutes because we have one more thing to watch, and then one more thing to watch from Marvel. Then we've got to talk about all the Marvel stuff which have been announced that we've not actually got videos for, and then we can finish off with Pixar. So I'll see you guys shortly for the What If trailer. They've been announced that we've not actually got videos for, and then we can finish off with Pixar. So I'll see you guys shortly for the What If trailer. They've been announced that we've not actually